get your head in the game, 'cause your life is no mistake. Your hard work is gonna pay. Living our life by design, yeah.
Listen, I've been observing a young woman in the entertainment industry for a few years. And this year, she has created a space for herself that is undeniable. And I thought to just share for a few minutes with you how important it is to become. This person that I'm talking about is Tiana Taylor. Many of you will remember her from Tyler Perry's days. And then she was in the latest Coming to America. But as of late, she has become a triple threat. She can act, she can sing, and she can dance. Now we can add to our dossier directorship. But what I want to draw your attention to is the way in which she is ferociously executing a gifts and a talent. She is not taking any prisoners. Now I'm impressed. I'm taken aback. Why? Because this is the theme that God has given us for 2026. Dreams, visions, gifts, and talents. We're still talking about watch this now, the re-education of kings, because we've been miseducated. But that's intentional. And the journey to regaining an understanding of the truth is the responsibility of every individual that's listening to me. You are responsible for that. Now, some of us have gotten so used to the lies and living it, we defend it. And that's what I often say. The greatest lie that's ever told is the one you defend. And that's how the enemy works. He works through individuals to the point where they themselves become a proponent of the lie. Well, I'm here to tell you this morning that the journey that Dream Nation is on is to be persistent and consistent in this re-education of kings, and that is in all facets. I'm telling you that there is something buried inside of you that is greater than anything that you can possibly imagine. Tiana Taylor has caught the vision. She has a dream, and man, she's releasing that gift or those gifts and those talents. We're talking about the imagination and the audacity of hope. Now listen carefully, folks. I want you to write this down because you're going to start noticing this, and I've paid attention within this month, and we're almost done with January, and I'm telling you that I've observed that purposeful people will not have the tolerance for inconsistencies and splintered personality. So if you're a purposeful person and you are focused on executing what you believe is your God-given call, people who are inconsistent, people who are splintered in their personality, their mentality, they're here today, gone tomorrow, they're up, they're down, they're not too sure. Well, these people are caught in what I call a cyclonic cycle. They are so caught up, they themselves are unaware, and they're going to continue to live through 2026 in that, unless they are determined to break that chain. But there is something amiss. I want you to pay attention very carefully, because when we say hope, when we talk about the audacity of hope, what are we talking about? Here's what the online etymology declares. And this word etymology is really talking about the root of a thing. This word hope is the confidence in the future. It is the expectation of something desired. Let's pay attention, folks. Watch this now. Romans chapter 15 and 13. This is our foundational text for this particular series. And it starts off by saying, may the God of hope, that's what God is. God's agency is hope. He's not shifting from that. Now, there's a reason for it. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit, you may abound in hope. This is interesting, folks. May the God of hope fill you. Why is this important? Because it's through hope that joy and peace becomes a reality for you. Okay? May the God of hope fill you with all joy and all peace in what? Believing. That's important now. What is this word believe? Belief here can be interpreted faith, but it is in the present moment. Whenever God talks to us about believing, he's saying, I need you to experience it in the present moment. It's not something far-fetched. It's not something afar off. He's saying to believe is to internally experience it in the present moment. We're going to teach more on that, because when we go to Mark 11 and 24, it explodes in our face. So that by the power of the Holy Spirit, you may abound in hope. So the reality is, the God of faith, or God of hope, is truly interested in causing you and I to abound in hope. Now, this word abound means to be overcome by it, to be filled with it, to the point that hope is a way of life. You cannot separate you from it. That's to abound, to live in it. Watch me, folks. Hope is not just a strong desire for a thing. Hope is a calling. Write that down. Good Lord of mercy. Hope is a calling. An assignment. One that cannot be ignored. This is important. The God of all hope, or the God of hope, is going to fill you with joy and peace. And he needs you to understand that through Holy Spirit, watch this, you will become someone that lives consistently in hope. And we said that hope is not just a strong desire. No, it's not. Hope is a calling, an assignment. Well, no wonder so many people are oppressed and depressed, because when you lack an assignment or purpose on your life, you become splintered in your personality. You become up and down. You don't know where to go or come. You are frustrated with yourself and the things that you're doing. Some things may give you joy one day, and then the other day you want to run away from it. Well, this is a clear indication that you do not live in hope. And you do not live in hope because you do not know your assignment. Did you hear me? Well, when you understand your assignment, you understand why you're here on the planet, and nothing else means anything to you but that, because it is fulfilling, it is satisfying, and it keeps you focused. You are not concerned or worried about what's going on over there or what's going on over here. Now, that's not to say that these things will not begin to challenge you at times, but it's so rewarding to remember I don't have to focus on them because God's given me an assignment, and there's an excitement there. Hope is not just a strong desire. Hope is a calling, an assignment, one that cannot be ignored. And hope is calling you. I mean, I can just hang up and go home right there. Hope is calling you. This is why it's so important for God to have you abound in it. Because when you abound in hope, hope keeps calling you. You don't have no more time for anything and anyone else, because it keeps you looking at it. And I love the story of Jesus walking on the water and calling to Peter, or Peter asking, can I come? That's hope now. Hope, can I come? Can I do what you're doing? Can I experience what you're experiencing? And hope says, come. And he gets out of the boat and he begins to walk on what? Water. Why is that so significant? Because in the natural, you're not supposed to walk on water. You're supposed to sink. Listen to me very carefully. What does hope do? Hope takes you beyond the natural expectations of this world. And hope calls you and says to you, keep your cotton picking eyes on me. Because if you don't, the world and its natural responses will pull you back, and you will say, see, I knew it wouldn't work. I know they didn't like me. I knew I would not make it. I knew I couldn't be good enough. You'll start saying things that are consistent with this world. But hope is calling. Well, that's what hope was doing with Peter. He was calling him. But God needed us to recognize that there will be times we will take our eyes off of hope. Jesus, have mercy. We'll take our eyes off of hope and we begin to sink. Now that's important, because if you can take your eyes off of hope, you can put your eyes back on it. Because hope, watch this now, specializes in the impossible. The God of hope will fill you with all joy. Listen to me. I'm talking to someone this morning. There seems to be an impossibility in your life. There seems to be a hurdle that is insurmountable. But can I tell you, hope specializes in the impossible. Now, that's not just a euphemism. I am not trying to be funny. I have experienced it. I can remember being in Bible college and saying to myself, man, I would really like to go to university once I graduate, but I don't have the money and I'm not smart enough. And hope knocked on my door and said, shut up. You are speaking in alignment with this world and what it is expecting you to, but you got to keep your eyes on me. What is your hope? My desire is to go to university. So watch what happens now. I had a hope that gave me an instant picture, a reality that I wanted to be a part of. And then I began experiencing it internally. Now, what does that look like? It means I'm thinking about it. It means I'm feeling like I'm already there. It means that I'm excited about it. It means that fear does not exist in my ecosystem. My inward culture has been developed around this reality that I am already at university. Hope calls. Just keep your eyes. So Hope says, now fill out the application. I said, no problem. Filled out the application, sent it in. Hope says, okay, now sit back and worship, sit back and pray, sit back and fast. Now, what are you worshiping and fasting and praying for and about? You're not worshiping and praying and fasting to go. You're worshiping and praising and fasting to thank you. Why? Because the impossible has already taken place. Where inwardly, that's the supernatural. Don't let nobody fool you. You got to live there first in the spirit. What did I say? You have to live there first in the spirit. Well, this is what the word abound means. It means to live there. It means to live in it. Shabbat. Come on, folks. We're talking about the audacity of hope. And why is hope has the audacity? Because hope is bold when it speaks. It says, come Peter, walk on water. That takes some audacity. What do you mean, walk on water? You don't know what water is supposed to do to the human body once you go in it. You're supposed to sink. Listen. I am hope, and I'm telling you, come to me. I'm not asking you to look at the winds and the waves and all of that. That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you to look at me. The question I have for you is, do you have hope? Do you have somewhere you're supposed to be going? Is there an assignment on your life? I'm telling you, when I got the letter and I opened up that envelope and read that, it says, it is with excitement and gladness that we are sending to you this letter, congratulating you for being accepted. That's all I needed to hear. I did not need to read anything else. I was accepted at Oral Roberts University, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Someone who could not read at 14, someone who never thought he would be anything or do anything or go anywhere. Come on, somebody. I said, come on, somebody. I'm not talking to you about something that is pie in the sky. I've lived it. And it just so happens that in this season of my life, God is now bringing to full term everything that has to do with the imagination, the re-education of kings, and the audacity of hope. I said no, but I said yes. Same thing with our house. 3 years ago, every step of the way we heard no. This is the funniest thing. I mean, every step. No, you can't do this. No, we are not. No. And what is so funny is that every no we did not hear. Drink some coffee on that. Every no, we just could not hear it. We know they said no, but the no did not register. Why? Because we had our eyes fixed on hope. What was hope? The house. Sheba. I said Sheba. Hope was the house. That's all we saw. He said that was ours. We're going to get it. That's it. Well, you don't have the money. You don't have the down payment. You don't have this and you don't have that. And we said, okay. But hope says, that's yours. Okay. We specialize in the impossible. We make fools out of this natural world. Now you can say Sheba. Did you hear that? We make fools out of this natural world. That should be my tagline for the rest of this year. We make fools out of this natural world. Because when you're focused on you are living in hope, hope is a calling. It is an assignment. That's why you can't get off the wall. It's not just saying, I want to give you a house. It is saying the assignment is your house. So what are you hoping for? What are you wishing for? What do you desire? What do you really want? Here's the problem. You don't realize that it is an assignment. It's not just a strong desire. Oh man, I feel like preaching. I said it's an assignment. Hope is an assignment. It's not just, I want this house, I want this car, I want this college degree. No, it is an assignment that's been assigned to you before you were in your mother's womb. Isn't that what he says? He says, before I knit you in your mother's womb, I assigned you, I appointed you. Shabbat. Don't let nobody fool you. This isn't about you wishing you had money or wishing you was this or wishing you. No, it's an assignment, and you need to change. Let me not go too far. I got a lot I got to share. So listen carefully. Watch this. Hope becomes an, and you can see clearly. Now let's sit back on that and drink this coffee again. And that's one of the reasons we took pictures of the house. That's one of the reasons when we were in Bible college, in seminary, and God told us, listen, I'm going to give you a car, Ford Expedition, brand new. What did we do? We went and we got pictures of it. Why? Because we needed a clear view of the thing that was calling us. We did not want to have to make it up in our minds, although we can do it. But when you have the thing that you desire in front of you, it changes the game. Mm-hmm. Did you hear me? Mm-hmm. I said it changes the game. For hope to become an assignment in your life, you need to have a clear view of it. Listen carefully. Hope is cradled in dreams and visions. It gains momentum through and by gifts and talents. Please like, share, and follow. Call somebody, because they're missing this. And I know you know someone who needs to hear it. Call them right now. Listen carefully. Hope is cradled in dreams, visions, but it gains momentum through gifts and talents. That's why we were talking about Tiana Taylor in the beginning. She had dreams, she had visions, but she was gifted and talented. And watch what happens. The door just flung open for her. I mean, in fact, I was watching a clip of her, and she was doing what do they call it when someone sings somebody? A cover. She was doing a cover of Anita Baker's song. And I'm going to tell you, when it comes to either Anita Baker, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, and Celine Dion, and persons like that, I can't listen to people cover their music because they have signature voices. So it's a challenge for me to listen to other people. But when this young lady opened her mouth, now she's an actress, but I said, that's when the revelation came. Oh, I see. She taking no prisoners this year. Yeah. Every gift, every talent is going to be executed. And I'm telling you right now, that's the year that we're in. And I want to encourage you, whatever it is that God has gifted you in, whatever it is you are talented with, whatever the dream is, whatever the vision is, get cracking. Now, that's a Bermudian term. Get cracking. Now, I'm going to tell you, and I say this unequivocally, you need either a pastor or some coaches, and you need people to be in your corner to help you. This is why I say you need to fill in the form, become a partner, come join us on Sunday mornings, be a part of our sessions, be a part of the classes that I have with students. We're doing assignments because we're helping people, watch this now, create functionality in executing their gifts and their calls, helping them find their purpose. Hope is cradled in dreams and in visions, but it gains momentum through gifts and talents. Hope is what I refer to as, watch this carefully, quantum quality. Let's say that again. What do I refer to hope as? Quantum quality. Write that down. This is going to change your life. What am I doing? I'm elevating your ability to think. That's what I'm doing. I'm not going to keep you going in circles in the same space that you have for the last 20 years, the last 30 years, and you thinking you're moving forward. What do we call that? Insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Insanity. Doing the same thing every year, singing the same songs, clapping the same way, dancing the same way, and then you want to say, oh, we are progressing. I refer to hope as quantum quality. Now, it's quite interesting. I was laying down, and this word or this phrase came to me, quantum quality. Now, my book, Purpose is Not Enough, actually has, and this was written many, many moons ago, but just came out a new version of it. And I don't know if you can see here, but it says Purpose Quantified. So I spent some years studying quantum mechanics and quantum reality, but I've never heard this word quantum quality. And I jumped up and I went online and I started to research it. And I want to read something to you, because when God is in something, everything points in that direction. Quantum quality refers to achieving exceptional transformative improvements in one's life. It is done through integrating innovative and next level thinking. Now, you've got to be joking. Let's do this again, right? Quantum quality refers to achieving exceptional transformative improvement in one's life. It is done by integrating innovative next level thinking. Hope changes the order and the direction of your thoughts. Let's do this again. I said hope changes the order and direction of your thoughts. Again, let's talk about Peter walking on the water. Peter asked, "Can I come?" And hope calls. Hope gives permission. Hope authorizes. And Peter steps out of the boat and begins to walk. What is hope doing? Hope gives him an order, or creates an order that is different from the order he's been living in this natural world. The order is divine. Why? Because it supersedes everything in the natural. It says to Peter, you can walk on water, even though you are in a physical form. You have authority over the elements. Come to me. This is what hope does. Hope, watch this now, changes the order and direction of your thoughts. That means when Peter gets on the water, the only thing he was thinking for a few moments was, I've got to get to hope. Hope's calling me. I have a question. What's distracting you? Are you distracting you? For the first time, I went with my health coach and nutritionist to do some exercises, and I was ready, okay. And a few other persons were there, and she said, all right, so here's what we're going to do. And we didn't even warm up. And I asked, I said, are we supposed to warm up? She said, well, we walked on the field. That's enough warm up. I said, okay, no problem. Okay. So I realized, okay, this was not the place where I was supposed to ask questions. So I just said, I'll just do whatever I got to do. And we were doing these stretches, and man, I started sweating bullets. She said, what's happening is most of you who would lift weights think that it's easy to do what I'm teaching you before you get here. But what you don't realize is I'm not teaching you to lift weights. I'm teaching you to lift you. Changed my concept completely. She said, can you lift you? I said, no. Apparently this is more than I can handle. But as she began to teach the class and share some other things, one of the things that she said was, the body holds emotions and it's trapped and it cannot be released, and it shows up in chronic illnesses. My God, man, wait a minute. Did we say hope changes the order and direction of your thoughts? Well, if you are physically challenged in whatever way, then hope is going to be deferred. And it's going to be deferred because something else is calling you. Something else has your attention, and your thoughts go in that direction. So you may say, I want to get up in the morning, I want to eat right, but boy, and then I'm taking these pills and I'm doing this. And so many things are taking your thoughts. You are no more or no less than your ability to access new thoughts or new ideas. Folks, you need to chew this one a little while. We are no more and we are no less than our ability to access new thoughts or new ideas. Brother Gillen, Dr. Gillen, who was it? Macmillan? No, Gillen. The white-haired gentleman. In what class was that? Economics? We would walk in university, we would walk inside the class, and he would just make statements and give us quotes. And this thing just stuck with me. He said, "He that does not know that he does not know is a fool, and he should be shunned." That stuck with me. He that does not know that he does not know is a fool. Well, our father Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, how do you know when you do not know? That's painful. That means you are bound to stay in the same state that you are in for the rest of your life and die there. So one's prayer should be, help me to elevate to a space where I recognize what I don't know and what I may need to know. I want you to listen carefully. Hope guarantees new perspectives and new worlds. Hope guarantees new perspectives and new worlds. Whenever you have hope, it transports you to another. Good night. I feel like dancing. I think I need some chicken in the bag, because I need to bless myself. I don't tell my health coach that. It's between me and you. I rebuke and I bind that in Jesus' name. Okay. Anyway, let's edit that part. She may be watching. Let's edit that. Y'all can edit that while we're talking. Okay. All right. So hear me. What does hope do? Hope guarantees you new perspectives and new worlds. Let me tell you why that's so important. Because some of us are living in such degradation, in such poverty, in such lack, that if you have hope, you can escape in your mind to that reality. And hope will change your perspective and your world. And by the way, this word world means system. This word world means system. It'll change your system. That means the longer you hold on to it, it will call you and you get closer to it. By the time you lift up your head and look around, the place where you once were has changed because you've changed it by staying focused on hope. Your imagination and the audacity of hope. These thoughts and ideas are held together by an insistence derived from the expected or predetermined end. Man, I got to say that again. To say that again. Listen carefully. Where does these new thoughts come from? Where does these new perspectives come from? Well, these new thoughts or these new ideas are held together. Watch this now. By an insistent, I'm insistent that we're going to make it. I'm insistent that you're going to get what you need. And stop hanging out with people who conversations are made up of doubt and fear and who didn't get it and who didn't make it and someone else tried and it took 50 years. And listen, say to them, thank you for your input, but you are no longer allowed in my space. I love you, but I'm going to love you from afar. Why? Because you have to sterilize your environment so that it is consistent. You know, and I'm reminded of Dr. Mike and Dr. Diddy many moons ago when Dr. Mike was sick and he was in hospital. Dr. Diddy would go and be there, and she would stand guard. And anyone who could not line up with hope, she would tell me, you can't come in the room. I'm sorry. You can't come in the room and you can't talk. I don't want to hear you. Don't give us a call. Women, we'll call you. Yo, listen, right? Listen. I'm not talking about something that's far-fetched. And here's the important thing that I learned. You actually have to be intrinsically connected to those kinds of people. This world is a beast and it ain't nice. But when you are intrinsically connected to these kinds of people, what tends to happen is what's on them through grace falls on you. Okay, let's finish this up. Here are proven steps to accessing new thoughts. Here are proven steps to accessing new thoughts. I'm going to say it again. Here are proven steps to accessing. You know what I've concluded, especially within 2026? I said something earlier. Purposeful people will not tolerate inconsistencies and splintered personalities. In other words, if you are an individual who you want to grow, you want to do new things, you're excited, and then you connect with persons that are like myself, what you're going to notice if you show any signs of inconsistency or any signs of splintered mentality or personalities, I won't even talk to you. I will leave you. And it's not that I'm mad with you or I don't like you. It's that you are taking too much of my energy and time. And you want someone to coddle you. You want someone to say, oh, it's okay. No. You are responsible for you. Shabbat. And if you don't have the wherewithal to know you need to be consistent and pull yourself up when you don't even want to, I'm not going to do it for you. So I move until you're prepared to catch up with me. And when you're prepared to catch up with me, I'm already decades ahead of you. So that means your work is even harder. But I'm not going, I found that you can buck into a wall trying to help people who do not want to help themselves. Notice what I said, who do not want to help themselves. Because that's a huge part of this. What do you mean? Of course I want to help. No. You'd like to help yourself. But one who is desiring to change sees this as a personal vendetta. The greatest form of discipline is self-discipline. The greatest form of discipline is self-discipline. Don't look to me to discipline you. Watch me and follow me. And if I say come, come. And if I say go, go. If I say do this, do that. But I'm not going to fight you to do it. I'm not going to push you to do it. You're going to have to do it on your own. Once I give it, watch this carefully. Here are proven steps to accessing new thoughts. One, acknowledge that all you know isn't all there is to know. You have to acknowledge that. You have to start talking to yourself. You know what? I don't know everything. I don't know everything. Now, what does that do? It literally changes your internal ecosystem so that you don't become offended when someone starts to teach you something you do not know. You don't become offended. In fact, you become curious. You know what? I've never heard that. You know what? Let me take a look at that. You know what? Let me study that. See, when you acknowledge that you don't know everything to you becomes accessible. Ooh, I like that. When you acknowledge that all you know isn't all there is to know, then everything becomes accessible. Here's number 2. Challenge your reading proficiencies by reading books with more difficult content. Let's do that again. Challenge your reading proficiency by reading books with more difficult content. My son was, how old was he? He was 6, 7, 8, 11.
Mm-hmm.
Because I understand what reading does, mechanically and psychologically, I was very excited to get my son at 11 years old to do what I could not do at that time, and that was read. He said, hey, his name is Najee. I said, Najee, I got a deal I want to make with you. Here's a proposal. I want you to read a book every month and then write me a book report on that. And I will pay you $300 for every book you read. My son at 11 years old looked at me, he put his little hands on my face, and he said, no, thank you, Daddy. I said, oh, okay, I have to go at this another way. Of course, he did not recognize the value, right? And I said, Lord, I need to get this boy reading. Now, why? Because what reading actually does is it expands your ability to think, because you have a greater level of vocabulary that stretches your ability to process mentally. And you now understand concepts. You understand what something means versus what it doesn't. You have the depth to which a thing can be explained, a wider vocabulary. So I needed him. And then I also told him, I said, what this actually does is it places you at an advantage when you go on interviews, when you're on your job, when you're doing things that you may not fully understand when you first get it. But because you have this capacity to think beyond the present condition, you can actually find your way. My son said, no, thank you, Daddy. 3 years later, my son, I don't know, something just hit him. And he just started reading. I mean, reading everything he could get his hands on. And he read a lot of scientific books, books on engineering, history. And his vocabulary is incredible at 15, at 16, at 17. Communicating with him and him understanding and explaining to some things he's trying to explain to him. I said, hold on, you have to break that down. Now, I'm the one that told him. But it's fascinating to watch. Listen to me. Start reading books challenge your reading proficiency. Start reading books that are challenging and more difficult in its content. Watch this now. Study words and their meanings. So what I used to do if I'm reading a book, and I did this a lot with my Bible. I remember the first Bible I got, my mother got me before I went off to Bible college. And I fell in love with this Bible. Nobody taught me, but I just assumed this is what you do. So what I did with the Bible is every single word, if it was and, if it was it, if it was them, if it was they, I circled it. And then I went to a dictionary and I wrote down the meaning. And it gave me a greater appreciation for the sentence structure and the intent. It's easy for us, background in terms of research. Well, that's what I did. Reading other books, like I told you, understanding quantum mechanics and quantum physics, thermodynamics. I read these books, and I'm gonna tell you, I struggled reading these books and wanted to put them down. It's too much. Well, what was happening? My brain was being stretched because the brain is a muscle, and it was comfortable knowing what it knew and resisted knowing anything more and even applying itself to it. Well, remember I said self-discipline is the greatest form of discipline? So I decided I'm going to go beyond that barrier, and I started reading. Now, here's what it does. When you're reading something that's a bit more difficult, you are actually trying to break through into the concept they're conveying. Why is that important? Because concept is an understanding of a particular thing. So if something is difficult to understand, most people walk away from it. They prefer the kindergarten ring around the rosy reality. And that's how in most churches preaching really is. And so people are content. But if you got to add a little bit more depth, people don't want that because it requires work on their part. Okay, let's move forward. Number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, number 3. Study history and revisionism. Study history and revisionism. Now, why am I saying history and revisionism? Because you want to know the past. You want to know. You want to see how they did things, how governments did things, how people lived. Now, why am I saying revisionist? Because most of the history, if not all, that you and I have come to learn when we were either in primary school or whatever, has been rewritten to hide the truth. So I'll give you an example. I have done extensive study on Haiti. And here's what I found. Most people do not know. Haiti was the first Caribbean nation to receive its independence. But not just that. It literally destroyed one of the greatest armies that ever existed. Everybody was afraid of this army. Who was this? Napoleon. Not only did Haiti gain its independence, it gained its independence by destroying a major army that literally terrified the world. But what did that do? Now, you got to understand why this is important. Because anytime you see a nation that is under such attack and oppression, it literally is the reverse. It means that this is a nation that by default is the key leader in our world. Sit back and let you all chew on that. Let me drink some coffee. It means that the country, and I'm going to ask you to study this. Study Haiti, Because I think if you study it, you can find your freedom. Did I just say so?
Wow.
I think if you study it, you can find your freedom. And something hit me the other night while I was studying it again. I'm always going revisiting, because you don't just study once, you go back. And God spoke to me. He said, these people are royalty. Now we all are. Let's not confuse it. But these people actually exercised it before any other Caribbean nation knew it. Let me tell you how dangerous that is. It's so dangerous that the world had to meet to decide on how to keep Haiti in lack. Let me move on. Nobody bother me. Okay. Listen to this. Number 5. Identify the spaces of ignorance in your life. Replace it with the appropriate knowledge. Identify the spaces of ignorance in your life and replace it with the appropriate knowledge. Number 6. Include in this people and places that keep you in the same mental space. So let's read it. Number 5 says, identify the spaces of ignorance in your life and replace it with the appropriate knowledge. This includes people and places. Some of y'all don't want to leave some friends because they make you feel good in a space that you're in. So this means if you, and here's how you realize that you may need to change this, or change your friends, or change your people. What ends up happening is they are a reflection of the brokenness in you. Whenever you're with these people, they make you feel good and they support your mental fragmentation. If you are the same in terms of your mental state from 2 years ago, these friends have not helped you one bit, other than to stay the same. Let's pause. Well, I like when we talk and we go out because we laugh and what you laughing at? What you talking about? Do you rehearse the same things you've been rehearsing most of your life? And they're saying, child or girl or brother, you better do this. Or this is, well, they're helping you to be the same. In fact, there's a book I wrote, and we were thermodynamics, and we were talking about how lower thoughts are maintained. And lower thoughts are maintained when we have people around us who are in support of the way we think about a particular thing that does not challenge us to change. But when that actually happens, we become comfortable and satisfied because it makes us feel justified. That's the problem. You don't want to be justified, you want to be corrected. You don't want to be justified in your foolery, you want to be corrected. Well, here's what I found. People who correct you love you. People who justify your foolishness don't love you, they love themselves. So they're only saying to you what they want said to themselves. They're not interested in you. Bro, listen, I hear you, man. Let me tell you, no, let me tell you what I had to do, because you need to do this, because what are they saying? They're saying, it's me, I'm experiencing it too, so I'm going to tell you what to do, because we are in the same boat, and we'll never get out of it to walk on water. Are you hearing me? Okay. We said self-discipline is the highest form of discipline. Oftentimes, this is not the norm for most people. Most people are never self-disciplined. In other words, they will never put restrictions on themselves. Most people won't do that. No. And I can, and this is not in everything, we're speaking generally. But here's what I've learned. Again, I go back to my health and nutrition coach, and some of the conversations that we've had, I've kind of dismissed in my head while she's talking. But they're laughing at me, but I'm just trying to retrospective thinker. I look back and I ask myself, why did I disregard that? Why isn't that sinking? Well, it isn't sinking for a few reasons. One, I'm not really interested. I want quick fix. Two, it's too much information all at once, and I'm not going to retain that. Three, that sounds like a lot of work. That sounds like a lot of work, and I'm not there for that. And four, I want to change, but only by doing things that remain the same.
Wow.
You have to look at yourself. You have to look at yourself. This isn't about anybody else. The imagination and the audacity of hope. The re-education of kings. We love you. I want you to like, share, follow. Go on our page like we've been saying and fill out the form. It's only $75. Help us to become part of this great movement. Join us in this movement. People know God's I'm telling you, what you're going to notice is your life is going to turn right side.
Let me tell you, we're gonna make it. We're not taking no chances. We're living our life by design, yeah.